have you back.
Right away.
Yeah, we couldn't wait any longer. Yeah, we think we've achieved stabilization.
We're just laughing at something on the screen that you guys can't see. It's
You're upside down, yeah.
we just have demons.
Yeah, my specialty.
Good thing we got a demonologist.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
But let's talk about the Salem and the people on it, and the people who worked on it, lived on it, and still reside on it.
Sure.
That, that you live and breathe with every time.
Yeah,
we do. And as I said before, we've stepped up our research. So these people, I think these people are a lot freer to speak to us because they know us. Obviously, they see us all the time. And we're getting better all the time.
Got to admit, it's getting better, a little better all the time. No worse.
And of course, not only does the stuff we do help us, but it makes the experience for our guests more enjoyable as well. We're at the point now. So, for years and years, there was a rumor about an accident in the 8-inch turret back aft, number 3 turret.
Mm-hmm.
And we never talked about it. When I gave tours and stuff, I never talked about it because it was just that. People said, they think, and, Well, 2 summers ago, a woman donated a bunch of letters that her father, when he was stationed aboard the ship, sent home. And I started going through them, and sure enough, there was a letter in which this guy described in detail the accident in number 3 turret.
Wow.
So we started going through the cruise books that I mentioned before and narrowing down the guys, the gunner's mates, who would have been back in number 3 turret, by ship division and things of this nature. And son of a gun, we found gunner's mate, Seaman Apprentice William Austin.
Wow.
Who is in fact the young man that died in turret 3 in 1954.
Does he have have you ever made contact with the person involved in that accident?
Oh yeah.
And did he, once you figured out his name, did he say, yes, that's my name, or, you verified? Oh, that's fantastic to have that kind of historical evidence.
In fact,
where did Ken go?
Seaman Apprentice Austin is so talkative that when we do our public events, and we've got probably 30 guests.
Yeah.
And we break into, the truth is we break into as many groups as we can, depending on how many people we have to shepherd them that night. But no matter how many we have, we all start back in the third mess together because we lay out a bunch of equipment. There they are. We lay out a bunch of equipment on the deck. And we Lou Calcagni, who is another Navy vet, Lou and I will just walk back and forth and have conversations. And I'm talking, so, we use REM pods, of course.
Yes.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say we're talking 3, 4, sometimes 5 REM pods all going off in unison. Or not.
Wow.
For being inactive, but all at the same time, also significant.
Well, when I say or not, like for instance, we have an entity aboard that we don't believe is human. And,
really?
And it's not a negative entity or anything of the kind, but he plays with us. He lies to us and he makes believe he's other people sometimes. So when we're talking to the entities, we often try to trip them up. And for example, earlier when I mentioned having a woman aboard who looked like Frank O'Brien's wife, there's a great video we have a Facebook page called USS Salem Paranormal Experience. And there's a great video that we took in the hospital where Lou Calcagni is standing over in the corner and he says, Frank, do you remember last week when the blonde woman came in who looked like your wife and everything in the room lights up?
Huh.
And Lou says, she came in and she walked over and stood by Dawn, didn't she? And nothing happens. And then he says, nope, she stood right there by the hospital entrance, right? And nothing happens. And then he says, or did she come over and stand next to me? And everything in the room lights up.
Wow.
Because that's exactly what she did.
That's pretty cool.
It's, when we're back in the third mess with Seaman Apprentice Austin, that's what we do. We ask questions about his rate and his job aboard the ship and things of that nature. And because Lou and I are very familiar with the terminology and with the insignias and things of that nature, we'll often say, because you had green stripes and nothing will happen, because he didn't. He had blue stripes as a seaman as opposed to an airman. It really is mind-boggling. I'm not kidding when I tell you. I think we're doing something very, very unique aboard the ship. Very, very unique.
Yes.
It's nothing short of groundbreaking. How carefully are these investigations? Because every time there's a tour, there's an investigation. How definitely are they documented? I mean, they're great experiences, but where's it all going? How is it going to be a collection of experiences?
We often joke about the fact that, damn it, why aren't we video? That we should be taking video from the second we walk aboard till the second we leave. We don't, but we're getting better at it. So we don't miss a whole lot. In fact, we just started talking about mounting cameras back in the CPO mess, in the third mess, and in the hospital, so that as soon as we go into those rooms, we can start video and make sure we don't miss anything. But we've got an awful lot of video, Carl, of the kinds of things I'm talking about, an awful lot.
Good, because this is a treasury of experiences.
We certainly feel the same way.
We're not supposed to say proof, but I think this is as close as we can get to verification and vindication of spirit communication, that this is happening, that these are intelligences, that they are responsive to the living, more than our screen is responsive to us. But yeah.
It's like everything else. If you don't want to believe, you're not going to believe, right?
All the proof in the world.
Yeah, if you don't want to believe, you're not going to believe. But like I said, when you look at those videos I'm talking about, where you ask a question and you've got 5 devices all going off at the same time, I don't. How do you explain that? You know what I mean? You could tell me you don't believe if you want to, but tell me how that happens.
Right.
No, it's truly amazing, and we've been, we're not novices. I mean, we've been around. We've been out. We did the Sally House last spring, and the Villisca Axe Murder House. We've been down the Conjuring House a number of times, and we've done a lot of, Kyle, we've been to Slater a couple of times and had some great stuff happen there.
That was very active when you came to Slater Mill. I remember.
It sure was.
We were all satisfied with that.
It sure was.
Yeah, I wish we had. I see these settings where you get good results and you can consistently be there. I see these as laboratories, like the USS Salem, like Slater Mill was. It is an ongoing study. It is a place where you will likely get results, and you can document those results because you're prepared.
Sure, and the results spur you on. I mean, as great as things are going, what they do is they make us talk more and more about what's the next step.
Mm-hmm. That's just where I'm always headed. I want to say, where are we going next? How are we going to encapsulate this? How are we going to document this? How are we going to preserve this for continued research? And that's what you're doing there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You said when you first came to USS Salem, somebody there with you, one of your staff said, this is haunted.
No, it was one of the volunteers.
The volunteers.
I really didn't even know.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you think you said it's been upstep? There must be a correlation between like the research you're doing and the shuffling. Yeah. And how intensely you're researching this. And I think the spirits are aware that you're getting through. They're saying, "Hey, look at this over here. We can get through to these people. Some of these people see us. Some of these people hear us. Their minds."
It's undeniable. The correlation is undeniable.
All right, and now you're able to build relationships because they see you again and again, and it's this guy again, this girl again, and you build relationships with people that you're trying to investigate. That's pretty special.
It's absolutely precious when you have that opportunity to establish relationships with these disembodied minds, that will be responsible, that will befriend you to a degree or taunt you even and have a banter with you, So who wins the arguments? You or the chief?
The chief, for instance, hated Ghost Ship Harbor when the Halloween events on the ship.
Yeah.
The chief hated it. In fact, I personally think he's what brought it to an end.
Wow.
But now when we have our Halloween event, and it's not a haunted house like Ghost Ship Harbor was.
Right.
It's just it's a public investigation in costume, basically.
Right.
Is what. And we have some tarot card readers aboard and things of that nature, but that's on a Saturday night, and usually Wednesday night or Thursday night we go aboard and we go to the wardroom galley, which we believe is where the chief kind of hangs out now. And we have a conversation with him about what's going to happen Saturday night.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He understands what we're doing. He understands why we're doing it. He understands that it's all about helping to support the ship and keep the ship up. And we want to make sure he's cool with it before we do anything. And he always gives us his assurance and tells us that it's okay. Like I said, he knows us now. He knows that we're not going to do anything disrespectful. He knows it.
That's the embodiment of just treating people nicely, whether they're dead people or alive people who
Absolutely.
You never met. That's all it is just treating them with
you
respect.
Get better and repeated results that way.
Kindness.
Mm-hmm. As far as seeing things, I saw a shadowy form, and I wasn't the only one to see it that night. One of the times I was there, it was darting, it was in the passageway, and it was aft. It was moving across. It would be seen for a couple of seconds. That's probably a long time to see a shadowy form, like 2 seconds. Do you see these things? I know most of the experience there is audible, but do you see the ghost there? Do you see these apparitions?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we've got somebody now that we call the peeker.
Yeah. Actually, I was kind of leading into that. Was my segue into the peeper.
That a lot of people see kind of peeking around.
Don't leave us. Yeah.
And a lot of people see the peeker. Not only do a lot of people see him, but we think as the season came to an end last year, we think Seaman Apprentice Austin back in the third mess was bringing us to who that individual is.
Oh, wow.
So we're